IT experts, moderators, administrators, etc. Hello, let's get that out the way because I feel like that's I don't feel like it. I know that's who I'm talking to. Now that we got it out the way, even though I'm talking to you guys, just with the delusion that I could possibly reach an audience, a real human audience, because there's millions of let YouTube tell it. There's millions of YouTubers and subscribers and people that just avidly watch YouTube, and I can believe that's possible. It's a monopoly. I mean, if it had like other, it used to be Vimeo back in the days, and there was a couple more challengers to YouTube, but since this Alphabet Inc. monopoly is kind of hard to get diversity, these people don't pretty much, the conglomerates done got together and they say, listen, every platform, I don't, I'm gonna stay on point to my topic before I get that. I'm kind of diverting a little bit to speak on the race. It's kind of was like when Russia had a Cold War with America and they were trying to see who gonna get to space first, and America was like, fuck it, we think Russia gonna beat us. So America decided to just fake going to space. And they made a whole Hollywood movie about the shit. We was even able to see the moon landing because we had a motherfucker set up on the moon already. We sent America. We so great. We sent a motherfucker to the moon before the astronauts made it, just so we could film the landing. Aren't we the greatest country in the history of fucking like the mankind? So but there was a race. There was an arms race for social media. Late '90s, like '90s. And first of all, if you were black and you're an '80s baby, and you were young, preteen, teenager, whatever, in the late '90s, if you had a computer, your people was doing pretty good. No lie. Like if you had a computer before the year 2000, Y2K, and you lived in a black community, your people was doing exceptionally well. You could have still lived in the ghetto, but your people was like advanced. In those days, and that's the beginning of the web camera era too. Fucking only thing you had at social media. Picture this shit. Take you back in time. AOL. AOL was the fucking YouTube, the Facebook, the MySpace, the TikTok, AOL. And even if you was online, I don't give a fuck if you turned down the volume on your computer down to zero. Everybody know you're online because anytime anybody direct message you, all you heard was, "You've got mail." The shit was loud as fuck. In fact, they made a movie with Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks called "You've Got Mail." Like, that was like the most popular shit in the 90s as far as the tech. I had to say that because I wanted to tell you that's when it was wide open to see what social media would become. So YouTube came 6 years later. This probably was '98, so YouTube came 7 years later. When YouTube came, it was the Wild Wild West. We had Black Planet. That was where all the black people was at. Bitch, we was on Black Planet. Fuck everything else, nigga. The greatest fucking platform in the history of mankind. Black Planet. MySpace came out, niggas. That was what got niggas to kind of trick off on Black Planet. They had other little shits that failed that came, but MySpace used to let you put music on your page, and us niggas, we used to leave music on our voicemail, music on our page, and you get to see my pictures, and I get a set of pictures with niggas who know how to do HTML, JavaScript back in the days, that early source code writing. Oh, them niggas was fucking having the ball, making money, setting niggas page up, getting money. That's the point. YouTube, along with, and mind you, media is still open at this time where I ain't asking no questions. I ain't corresponding with nobody. I respect everybody that's popping in. I ain't trying to fuck y'all up. But, you know, of course, my edit game better than anybody. I would answer that question. Nigga, nobody edit game like my shit. But that's another story. Point is, now let's fast forward. Let me just fast forward to my point. YouTube runs a monopoly. Let's just get that shit out of the way. It's a monopoly. So I say that, pardon me if I don't feel like YouTube is gonna put me out in front of the masses. I'm gonna have these little nerdy guys, and I'm nerdy too, but I'm older nerdy. They young nerdy. Young nerdy is lame. Old nerdy is cool. So I can peep like, hey yo, bro, I'm being shadow banned and fucking I'm talking to a bunch of administrators who control them. It's like a test run. Okay, well, we're gonna comment and commentate with him and whatever, whatever. Nah, we don't feel like we should. This information shouldn't be put out to the mass. We're gonna limit him, or we're just gonna put him overseas. Even when I fucking, if you was to type in my handle, rap Game Castro, it's a bunch of fucking Arabic writing comes up. What the fuck is that about? You can't even start to type in rap game and put CAS. You can get all the way to the R, CASTRO. You can get all the way to the R, and the shit is showing you fucking Arabic. So I know the game these crackers play, and I'm not gonna like one thing about these crackers. I think the young crackers can understand and respect about me is I'm not gonna never conform. Now let me get to my point, and I almost had forgot my point because I got a long topic I want to talk about tonight. I had to say that point because I don't want the administrators to feel like, yeah, his word is falling on deaf ears and he think he's actually talking to somebody. I understand I'm probably only talking to administrators. I understand that before I go into my points. That's why I had to make my point of the history of social media and how there used to be other avenues where we can actually go to. There used to be competitors to YouTube. Now there's no competitors. It's just Alphabet Inc. Everything is Alphabet Inc. Everything is Meta. Between those two, it's just two. Just like the media sources, CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox. Fucking in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, you had at least 40 big outlets you could go to. Now everybody done been marginalized and put into one category and shit. So, having said that, let's get into this point. I want to speak on this Nolan Wells, Officer Tatum shit. It's really not about Nolan Wells. It's about a guy like a Tatum. I want to speak on that kind of guy. And I got so deep into the gist of talking about the technology that I almost forgot my original point. So I'm going to just freestyle it. A guy like a Tatum, and I'm asking white people, when y'all come get y'all dogs or whatever, let's call them a dog, a hit man, a hit dog. Why we always got to see the Herschel Walkers? Why do they all sound the same? Like it's an illiterate guy who had a reputation amongst the black community where we felt that whatever they did in life that they had a like they was, let's say Michael Jordan, right? Let's say Michael Jordan was the ruin his reputation because Michael Jordan probably don't give a fuck about black people. Michael Jordan have invested in a GEO corporation. GEO corporation is the biggest prison corporation, but let's stay to the point. That's these are facts. These are no defamation that I'm telling you. But Michael Jordan don't put himself out in front of shit. See, he do his little shit. Yeah, my name in the GEO shit, but he don't get out there and then and endorse. Hey, yeah, GEO group. Let's make more prisons. Hell no. So Michael Jordan understands his audience. He understands black people catapulted him to his level of success. And this is what I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about Tatum, but I also want to make it a two-part conversation to talk about what it is to be black, what it means to be black. Because this is the most confounding thing ever, what it means to be black. Why I say what it means to be black? Because I'm so invested into this Nolan Wells case. I'm literally invested. I don't got to do 1,000 videos. Niggas is milking this shit to death. I ain't gonna even lie. Niggas is milking. Oh, God. Fucking Nolan Wells is almost like COVID. Like, fucking niggas gonna get PPE off this nigga. Like, for real. Like, people are milking it like they really care. Some people do really care, and they pushing the issue, and they keeping the name alive, and they keeping the issue alive, and I respect that. But other folks is milking the shit, for better or for worse. Now, let me tell you what it means to be black before I bring in this Tatum guy, because I'm finna go in on Tatum tonight. But I have to explain what it means to be black, because Tatum is one of the most ghettoest niggas I ever seen in my life. Like, it's calling Tatum a sellout is a compliment, because you're almost alluding to the point that he has some kind of sense and understanding of white people. Fucking white people can't understand him no more than they can understand me. And I'm very smart. But I understand that I speak with a vernacular that might sound ghetto to the white masses, even though they love to listen to ghetto shit, and then they can't even articulate or their vocabulary is so limited that they can't even speak well. But that's neither here or there. The point is, Tatum, as far as on the IQ level, is very low level. Very low level. But let's talk about what it means to be black. Because I got to critique this shit. So, what it means to be black is no matter who you are, even a Tatum, if Tatum was to get whacked, let's say some guys came and whacked Tatum, there going to be a black advocacy group out here fighting for Tatum. No matter fucking what. They don't give a fuck how much of a detriment he was to his own kind. It's just the fact that we hate to see other black people fucking screwed over. And when this Nolan Wells shit first happened, I was the first one. Go look at the tapes. What the fuck you going out on a boat full of white guys for? I was a critic. But I had to realize I am my age and he's young enough to be my child. And his dad looked like a hood nigga. That's another story I want to save for later in the comment if I can remember. I would pay to see fucking a death fight. Not a fight, not a celebrity fight. I'm talking about fight to the death. And I put my money on Nolan Wells' daddy to fucking beat the brakes off of Tatum. Oh, God. That nigga look like a baby Bobby Lashley. That nigga trapezes up to his fucking ear. That nigga muscles on muscles. But he did his best. Fucking Nolan Wells' dad need to be studied. And I'm getting to my point, but I'm going to drag it. Nolan Wells' dad his father need to be studied. This guy looks like us. I'm talking about us. Black from the hood who work their ass to get up out the hood. And people will look at you, they see the muscles, they see the facial structure. They call you mean because you keep your hair the way you don't conform. They're like, who is this? He looks like a thug. You look at Nolan Wells, that nigga look like he did 10 in the pen. He got this, I don't know if they still married. Beautiful. She look half Asian. This nigga got, mind you, he's got muscles on muscles. So this is how he probably pulled the mother. Big, muscle-bound, strong Negro. Able to play his role, do better than I can as a man to keep a woman like that. And they raised this child, and they said, and him, I don't know about her, but I know about him. I don't know about him, but just off the look of this Negro, he said, my child gonna have a better life than me. So he did his best. He worked his ass off to make sure he could live in an affluent neighborhood. This is the dream of black people in America. FBAs to be exact. I'm talking to my FBAs real quick, my foundational black Americans. If you come over here and you make it to America, shit, you already made it to the promised land. Like, for real, like, what country are you fucking comparing as far as coming from a black country or wherever black people come from to America? Coming from your home country to America, you already in the suburbs. You go, bitch can put you in Compton, Watts, Harlem, fucking New Orleans, 9th Ward, bitch, all the wards, St. Bernard, bitch, fucking Miami, Opelika. You're going to be like, I made it to the front. You're going to be looking like fucking Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. The nigga in the middle of Brooklyn. Yo, sweet to be loved, to be loved. He just happy to be here. To the average black American, we know when we being cheated. We know when we in the hood. We like, yo, I gotta do better. I gotta get myself out of this shit. Nolan Wells' father appears to be a man that said, I gotta do better. I gotta get out of this shit. I gotta meet me a nice woman. And bro, the American dream. This is the thing with the American dream I'm gonna talk about to be black. Met this beautiful, and I don't mean to crush on little bro mama like that. I'm just saying, gorgeous. Freaking raised this child. I don't even know if they got more kids. I ain't never thought about that. But anyway, they got one child. They put all this love and pour all this love and invest all their time into this one child. Now, I gotta say that I gave the segue. That's like the segue because I want to say, gotta be careful. I spoke on this before, but I'm gonna talk about it. Their child was isolated through the success that they accomplished. Each level you move up, it's sort of like me when I was in school early on, elementary school. They used to send me to 2 grades up. I was in the 1st grade, but I used to go read with the 3rd graders. By the time I was in the 3rd grade, they had like 3 different level books for the third graders to read. They didn't just send you to the higher grade. They just had 3 levels. By me being at the highest level, there was white girl, my first white girl I had a crush on in my life. Yeah. Her name was Ariel. And I want to say Tanya. It was Ariel and Tanya was the 2 white girls. And it was me. And we was all in this certain book. So everybody else trying to move up to our level. Motherfucking Ariel and Tanya left my ass at that book and they moved up to the highest level. And then I started seeing people in the mid. They had like maybe 4 books. I don't know. But other people who was lower level started to move to my book. And I'm like, fuck, I ain't special no more. Like, nigga, like, it's a bunch of niggas and shit and chicos moving up to my level and some white boys, low-level white kids. I studied harder. I got up to the level that Tanya and Ariel was on, which was the highest book. I say that to say, in level, in life, in success, when you move up, you start to see less black people. Sad, but that's how this country was built. It ain't that it's an indication on black people intelligence and work ethic. Bitch, we the greatest of all time. But it is a testimony to what the country is. So they moved up. Now, the smart play would be get the fuck out of Mississippi. But one thing you learn in this life is this identity. Americans are the most, what's the word I want to use? Narcissistic people. And I'm not disrespecting their parents. I'm simply saying that you could live in the worst place in the country and feel like, bitch, I live in the greatest place, nigga. I represent for the hood. I represent for my city. Never thinking I need to get the fuck out of this place. For all they achieved, mother is a registered nurse, and I majored in health science. Father does what he does. No, not one time did they ponder, let's get the fuck out of Mississippi. You from Mississippi, I'm from Mississippi, bitch, let's go. We educated, let's go. They stayed. And respect to those folks, because those are the pioneers that black people have depended on for millions or hundreds and thousands, whatever years, because you're paving the way for the future of people that might want to move in that town. But when shit go awry, this is the type of games you come across. So now let's speed it up a little bit, because I've been dragging it. Nolan Wells, one thing I agree, and I got to get this part out before I go in on Tatum. Me and Tatum agree on something. The thing that me and Tatum agree on is Nolan Wells from the surface appears that he only had white friends. That's a fucking fact. That nigga almost wouldn't get caught dead with a nigga unless you see him with his daddy. His friends was all fucking... I know fucking Nolan Wells is in heaven fucking punching the air like Cuba Gooding Jr. in fucking whatever, Don't Be a Menace. He's just punching the fucking air. You should have been around us. You were going to be straight. Fucking Nolan Wells was Braxton off of the fucking Jamie Foxx show. Nolan Wells was that nigga off of ATL. You remember T.I. had that homeboy Pender, whatever that nigga, and he want to go to Buckhead and shit like that. But they never clowned that nigga. See, that's the perfect example who Nolan Wells was. That nigga who used to go to Buckhead. Got ambitions to go to college. He feels like he's... People look at him as snooty, but he's really intelligent. He feels that he holds himself to a high regard. He was safe around his homeboys. The niggas was going to fight by him and defend by him and all that. But they was only going to ride for him because he still was in touch with himself. He still understood that, yeah, I am part of y'all, but I don't think like you guys. But, yeah, nigga, my heart is from the same environment. So me and Tatum agree on that. But where we disagree is he only say that type of shit because... See, let me first of all, let's go in on Tatum. Because I want to build a Nolan point, but I don't want to make it like I'm dragging on the kid. All I want to say is the shorten up the Nolan point is simply that He did himself a disservice by having all white friends and never fucking taking time to really make a fully 100%, 1000% black friend. I ain't talking about no mixed nigga like Tristan. I'm talking about like a nigga like me. We could pop that same shit. We can go academic. Some white people say academia. We could do academia. I went to college. I can show you all my accreditations, everything I ever achieved in fucking life. I did a lot. But at the same time, I always talk the way I talk. But you can't never talk over my head or talk around me because I understand the dialogue or whatever you're trying to say. So this is my point. This is the difference between me and the Officer Tatum. This is the difference between other YouTube personalities versus Officer Tatum. There's been plenty black sellouts in this world. But let's make an example of two different black people that's successful. Officer Tatum, no matter what you want to say about him, he, I imagine before podcasting was successful. Police get paid a great amount of money. They don't have to be smart. We got billion examples of dumbass police that don't know shit about the law. They don't know shit about policies. Because they call it law enforcement, but really it's policy enforcement. How you think they got the name police? Because the original name is peacekeeper. But they don't keep the peace. They enforce policies. And policies come from the corporations who get to write them shits due to Boston, city of Boston versus First United. But the point that I'm making is, if you can drop the issue of what black people will say about you being a cop, and you're going to get dragged. But if you can drop that and say, you don't want to be a cop, I don't give a fuck. And you put in your time. This is the only job I can think of other than the Army itself that will pay you like a doctor. I'm talking about being a cop pays you like a doctor. And you ain't do nothing but 6 weeks of training with no college degree. You know, my first thing that I wanted to be more than a nurse, because I majored in health science in college. But I wanted to be a hospital administrator, sort of like Rick Jackson or Rick Scott. Damn, both of these bitches named Rick. But I wanted to be a hospital administrator. Matter of fact, if we're going to really talk about it, I wanted to be the hospital administrator for Jackson Memorial Hospital in Dade County. I'm from Broward County. That was like, I don't want to go down that avenue. The point is, I realized that being a hospital administrator, I would have to have more accreditation than the actual doctor himself. I got to have a such and such in business. I got to actually, now mind you, I don't want to misquote myself, but I believe you got to have a certain degree of medical science up under your belt, health science up under your belt. You just can't be a hospital administrator without something. I could be wrong on that because I've been gave up on that, and I put myself in a mindset that I would just be a registered nurse. The bottom line is this. To be a cop, you don't have to be smart. This is facts. You don't have to be smart. To be an NFL player, you don't have to be smart. To be an NBA player, you don't have to be smart. To be any professional athlete, you don't have to be smart. Do you have to do a degree of studying? Yes. Do you got to know the A gap, the B gap? Yes. Do you got to know the X's and O's on the basketball court, this, that, and that? There? Yes. Do you got to know the terminology and the vernacular they use for plays? Yes. But as far as academia or critical thinking, you don't need that. So when Herschel Walker, and I'm going to give a shout out to Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker embarrassed himself. When Raphael Warnock was running for whatever the position he holds, and they said, well, we got to put somebody out there to run against Raphael. And Raphael at the time was like innovative as fuck. A pastor? With nothing you can really pull up. Like, it's not Eddie Long running for damn senator. If Eddie Long was running for senator, nigga, we got a bunch of shit to talk about. But we're talking about Raphael Warnock. So at some point, they realized, okay, we got to get the right person to run against Raphael Warnock. Somebody that is beloved in the black community, but somebody that won't tarnish the Republican Party, like we can expel them, whatever. So basically, if they lose, it won't be like a hit to the Republican Party because there was a one-hit wonder anyway. So they pulled Herschel Walker out the blue. And this motherfucker, one thing about racism, and when I say racism, there's only one race that can be racist racist, the majority. How can a minority be racist without a system? Minority racism is fucking benign. It has no fucking use. It's like, okay, I hate crackers. Okay, so what can you do with your hate for white people? Can you manipulate policy? Can you manipulate law? Can you manipulate government? What can you do with your hate for white people? Nothing. You can get blackballed. You can fuck your life up. You can fuck your career up. You can fuck your social media, Hollywood, and all that other shit career up. But what the hell you can do with disliking white people that is productive? But I tell you what you can do and how far you can go with disliking black people. Oh boy, you can build a whole country. You can build a whole administration. We're gonna go down some aisles tonight. They talk about race baiting in the Nolan Wells shit. Nobody race baits better than our president. Nobody. He know that shit he wanna pop when he want them rednecks to come out the blue. He know the shit to say. Bang his head against the cop car before you put him in the back of the cop car. Bang his head. Oh, I love General Lee, Robert, whatever the fuck his name was. Oh, I love him. Oh, bring the statues. Do he mean that shit? Probably do. But do he really give a fuck about bringing the statues? Hell no. That's just pandering. But see, when white people race bait, we just call it pandering. But when black people speak on some shit, it ain't pandering, it's race baiting. And race baiting for what? Why would we dare waste our time race baiting when we don't got the numbers? Think about it. Why would I try to make a... Let's talk about fallacies, because I did go to college, so I'm going to just assume that most of my audience had a little bit of college under their belt, and they know about fallacies. You got different kind of fallacies. You got to appeal to ignorance. You got to appeal to popularity. You got to appeal to majority. I took statistical reasoning too. Fallacies come into statistical reasoning as well. But my point that I'm making is, when you're making an appeal to the majority, such as everybody that runs for president, you pander and you race bait, because you understand that the blacks don't got a fucking enough numbers to fuck you up in the elections. You might be racist, you might not. But if I pop that shit like a Tatum, then I can appeal to the majority. That's a whole industry where you got black guys that say, you know what? Because this is the thing I feel about Tatum. Tatum is the most ghettoest hood nigga. Bro, if white people start supporting Tatum tomorrow, I guarantee you he gonna have a slip of the tongue. Man, these pussy ass crackers, man, I don't know what the fuck wrong with these crackers. They start supporting me, man. You catch Tatum off of fuck. I would love to be a fly on the wall when the camera goes off in the room with Tatum, because his vernacular. I give you a perfect example. I watched the Hodge twins. Bless their heart. Very entertaining. Certain things I agree with what they say. They brotherhood, and they've been trying to be a little more black lately, past year. But they don't embarrass themselves when they speak. Like when they got somebody that's more intelligent on their stream, say for instance, right? And I'm not endorsing this guy. This guy's a Mexican a-hole to me. But Nick Fuentes, he's a very smart kid. When they invite Nick Fuentes on their show, or Candace Owens or whoever, or somebody that's really into what they're speaking on, they don't overtalk them. Because like my dad used to tell me, you only know a fool when they speak. They do great jobs at interjecting at the appropriate points, but they don't overtalk to make themselves look fools. They'll agree with certain points and then leave it at that and let their host do the rest of the talking. That's the difference in some guys like the Hodge twins. I'm trying to think of somebody else, though, that's like really intelligent, that's known as a sellout. I can't think of... I use a Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas is the best example. Clarence Thomas is the highest of the courts. This guy finessed the system and used affirmative action to become a Supreme Court justice. And then after becoming a Supreme Court judge, he said, fuck for affirmative action. We don't need it no more. I got my job. Fuck y'all niggas. I'm pulling the ladder up. He convinced people to put the ladder there, climbed the ladder to the top, then he pulled the ladder up. But nobody just gonna get to be a Supreme Court judge. You gotta be really smart. Tatum is not a Clarence Thomas. He's the, like, I'm telling you, bro. Like, I heard somebody try to come in my chat earlier on the stream and they say I specialize in jive talk. I didn't even play at no cadence because I had something going on that I was talking about that I couldn't even, whatever. But my point that I'm making is, when I hear this guy speak and I look at his word verbiage and the way he chooses to, like, insert, like, his thought process, it's like this is like a kid talking. Literally, it's like a kid talking. See, one thing for sure, like, it's these certain guys I've been following out of New Orleans. New Orleans got a heavy accent. Everybody in, like, America, different regions, different accents. Sometimes a person will misconstrue a person accent as ignorant. They're not understanding what the person is talking about or the dialogue. They're just looking at simply the accent itself and saying that sounds stupid. Actually, like, they're breaking down what they're saying. When I hear Tatum, it's not his accent. It's his word usage. It's like limited word. It's the way he puts a thought together. Like, this guy's stupid. It's literally Herschel Walker all over again. I can't tell the difference. What the fuck is Herschel Walker? Ever since I started seeing Tatum, I don't see Herschel Walker. You never see them guys in the same place. I'm starting to... Anyway. These two guys are two peas in the pod. Popularity from conglomerates that put them forth. Because let me tell you, Tatum is a double-edged sword. Not only does he conflict all this damage amongst black people from the rhetoric that he spews out his mouth, but the way that he spews it, the way he articulates himself, it's something for white people to pick apart and laugh at. Like, look at this dumbass nigga. And then when he come around, hey, buddy, woo! And he just feeling so accepted. They patting him. Like, he is the type of guy, you don't pat him on the shoulders. You don't pat him on the back. You pat him on the top of his head. Good job, Tatum. Good job. Good job, boy. You throw him a snack, wait for him to open his mouth and catch the shit. The guy is sad, bro. And I say to myself, I ain't gonna even stunt, bro. As I got older, I was conflicted. I looked at a guy like him, and mind you, I've heard his name pop up, but I never, like, he never came across my timeline, so I never, like, went and researched him. I really didn't really know about, I've been hearing Tatum's name for the past 2 years, but I fucking didn't know about him until this Nolan Wells shit. The point that I'm making is, guys like him, I used to say, I used to want to go delete all my social media on every platform. And I say, bitch, this shit is an industry. I can fucking sell out, fake sell out, but I'll sell out nevertheless. I need to, if I just delete everything I ever said or any time of fucking life or social media and just come on a new channel, these freaking black guys, oh, they're such a nuisance. They're fucking up the country. I have black fatigue. All this woke shit. I never knew there was a demographic of white, disenfranchised kids and adults that is just looking for anybody to pander and cater to their emotions. They're so emotionally bitch-made and weak that they will just listen to anybody. It doesn't even have to be a voice of, like, see, perfect. Another example, Dennis Miller. When I was coming up, Dennis Miller was my favorite late night talk show, period. Probably of all fucking time. Condescending comedic. Very condescending. Sarcastic. He was what Bill Maher's wish he could be. And freaking, I thought Dennis Miller was that guy. He even played in Metro with Eddie Murphy. And as time went on and I got older and wiser, I said, I don't like this guy. I don't like his stances on shit. Does that take the fact that he was a appealing personality or entertaining guy or comedic talent? It don't take away from that. But that's what white people used to love. White people love condescending, put it in a way that's not so brash. Current day Bill Maher's. They love that. Make me feel like I'm racist but sophisticated. Don't make me feel like I'm just a trailer park trash, just mad at all black people because I wanted to pin my failure upon somebody. Do not make me feel like that. Make me feel like there's some intellect behind my hate. That's what the Dennis Millers and the Bill Maher's of the world. But we're in a new generation. The boomers have about died out. And now it's just Generation X and millennials. So since that era of subliminal comedy has faded, is a new era of not only do I want my comedy to be more brash, but I also want a black guy saying, because it makes me feel like it's validated. I don't want to see a white guy saying the things that validate my opinions, because it's not going to validate it, because I'm going to feel like we're all conjoined by a race. But when I see a black guy saying it, oh man, it's so acceptable and it's a market. So I myself wanted to tap into that market and play the game. Fucking Tatum beat me. He beat me there. He beat me. That's a listen. Listen. And this is how I'll say this as I get ready to wrap this up. Officer Tatum is, what's the white guy that used to do drugs a lot? You know, everybody. What's that white guy who was heavy on drugs? Oh man, I can't think of his name, but y'all younger than me. For younger generation, y'all not gonna know. But there's a white actor. He used to do a lot of fucking drugs, like straight crackhead, cokehead, everything. But he played in this movie called Tropic Thunder, and he played this blackface character. I wish I could think of his name. Robert Downey Jr. Fucking Officer Tatum is Robert Downey Jr. He's a black man. No, let's back it up. Officer Tatum is a scoundrel, hood, ghetto thug, playing as a black man, cosplaying as a white man who loves black people or hate black people. So he's playing multiple characters. If you was to peel back the layers, one thing I love was when this guy Sneeko or somebody tried to go in front of this crowd, and the white guy came out of the crowd. He was like, we don't fuck with you. Don't talk about it. It ain't no racism. It is racism. Bitch, I don't like you even talking, nigga. Oh, bless that white guy heart. I wish can somebody get that information to me. I need to send that guy a gift or something. I love those kind of white people. Bring that nigga back down. Snatch his ass back down. He at the top of the fence. He almost over to the other side where the white people at. Snatch his ass back down and pull him where the niggas is at. Because Tatum is you can't tell me this guy in the ghetto nigga that had a rough nigger life. Nigger life. Nigger life. Rough, effed up, hard, ebonic speaking ass, mayonnaise sandwich, Kool-Aid with all the sugar at the fucking bottom that it won't even dissolve in the fucking Kool-Aid, fucking sugar water, fucking gotta take a bath with your brother, the fucking dirty, the water dirtiest shit with the black shit floating at the top, ring around the tub, fucking goddamn, fucking got a bucket under one of the sinks in the house because the pipes fucked up, gotta dump that bitch at night. Tatum grew up very, you can't, bro, one thing about I am from the ghetto. I know a hood nigga when I see one. Don't let that cop shit fool you. Cop don't mean intelligent. Cop don't mean wherewithal. Cop don't mean common sense. Cop don't mean anything other than I fucking chose to be a cop. That's it. It don't mean it doesn't, it's not synonymous with intelligence. It's not a college professor or a fucking nuclear scientist or some shit like that. It is just a motherfucker who had a job and apparently lost his job or quit his job, whatever the case. And now he's talking shit. That's what tell me a war story. You thought I was Tatum. That's what you thought. You thought, let's press the button on this nigga. Let's see if I got a button somewhere on me. Well, I got war story, but I got a war story. I don't got no buttons that you could press and just move me in a certain direction. That's the that's the difference. See, that's the oh. Thank you though for telling me that though. I will give a shout out to Malad Tehar because you just reminded me of my original thing I wanted to talk about what it is to be black. What it means to be black in America, in fact. To be black in America is a tough feat. It is such a tough feat, but such a unique feat that I would never in a billion lifetimes want to come back as anything other. It's like a video game. Imagine you only got one video game and that shit is stuck on easy mode. You're gonna lose your fucking mind because you're gonna dominate that shit so much. On hard mode, even if you're not playing on online and you're just playing a computer, the algorithm, because video games is the best point of an algorithm, how an algorithm is supposed to work. It's a mathematical equation. It basically says that if you play this game 1,000 times, one of these times you're gonna lose. And I don't give a fuck how raw you is, how good you is, who you could beat online. If you put the game on the hardest level and you play the motherfucker 1,000 times, I'm willing to bet my life one of them times you're gonna lose. The computer not missing shit, they locking you down, you fouling out. I don't give a fuck what game it is. You're gonna lose. Cause the algorithm say you only get to win 999 times. You don't get to win 1,000 times. You might get next time after the 999, you might not even make it to 999. You might make it to 199. You might make it to 50 before that one time, and then you can win the rest. But you're gonna lose once in those 1,000 times. With that said, give me every time black. Because the game is always on the hardest level. I like the hardest level. I don't want this shit too easy. I complain and bicker because we all do that. But bitch, do not take that as I wish I could come back my next life white. Or I wish fuck nah, nigga. Give me this black ass chocolate beautiful skin every time. Give me the fuck niggas that hate on me. Give me the walking through my community and niggas asking me where I'm from and ready to jump on my head because they don't know me. Give me the niggas lying on me, the bitches lying on me, my niggas hating on me, bitches hating on me. Give me the all-white cops that's harassing me, doing good and not harassing me. And the one black cop show up because he got to prove himself to the white cops. And he motherfucking just slam me on the ground and beat the shit out of me in front of the white cops to say, hey, I told you, I don't play. And then when the white guy comes, he know not to touch that white guy in front of the white cop. Give me that every fucking time. Give me the soul food. Give me the bitch that sell pussy next door. Give me the old lady that is nicer than the motherfucker. Give me the other old lady that might not be so nicer than the motherfucker. Always peeping out her window, calling the cops. Give me, bro, to be black, give me the Nolan Wells. Give me the kid that ain't got no black fucking friends. But when he dies, we go ham. We let his motherfucking... So, back to this Tatum point. Like I said, I understand a certain part. But he's not conveying it right because he's not being genuine with himself. What he wants to say is, know the world there like you niggas, why y'all fighting for him? But he's only doing it because he wants to fend off for his killers. See how that works? See, if his heart was in the right place, and he was just saying, man, them boys killed him, but fuck it. He put himself in that position, me and him will almost be aligned. But since he panders so much because he hates being black, he doesn't share what I just shared, which is bring me back every time black. He's like, nigga, don't never bring me back black again. But the only thing is, and I do believe in reincarnation, reincarnation work in many ways. If God want to be fucked up about reincarnation, he could bring us back as a roach. And I think about it as I torture roaches, because anytime I see a roach, I trap their ass and I cut their head off just so I can watch their body move around all night before they eventually die out. And I be saying to myself, because I do believe God is always looking at me, I be like, God, please don't ever bring me no roach. Yeah, I know I'm torturing this roach or torturing whatever insect I catch, but please don't bring me back to be one of these insects. I believe God say that for the most fucked up niggas. Off, Brandon Tatum wants to come back as a white man. I think the greatest joke God can play, I'll bring you back as a white man every time. But I'm going to keep you with that same dumbed down mind. I won't even call it a nigga mind. He's a ghetto nigga. But whatever mind he got, if God was just so... God is so great. But what would be so cool is to see... appreciate that, brother. If God was to just say, you know what, man, I'm going to bring him back as a white man, but I'm going to keep him with his little simplistic mind. That'd be so fucking funny, dog. So, in totality, Brandon Tatum is an ignorant man. And for white people, let me tell you a cool thing, too. Let me make another point since I'm on the subject. Low-key, I wanted to do a video saying... You know, because, like, the young kids, black and white, they got something where they say, what's the fucking word they say? They say, all right, well, y'all, I need somebody in the comment. Whoever in the comment right now, tell me what they say when they say, like, somebody in the comment, then they give you an alternate point of something that can happen. Like, they'll be like, what if? I can't think of the word. The young guys say something where, like, okay, perfect example. All right, before I forget the example, let's just make my point. Okay, lining up. So there was a situation where this black undercover cop, right? I think it was black. Might have been white, but I think it was black. He jumped in with these guys. And he's trying to play as a drug buyer to buy some drugs off these guys. Let me tell you how irony works. So he's a black cop, right? He's doing a drug bust and he's undercover. And he's riding in the back seat with these drug dealers. He's on a sting. Somehow, some way, I don't know if this other cop was a part of the sting or not, but somehow they get pulled. The fucking white cop is treating it like 4 niggas in the car. He ain't treating it like it's a sting. The white cop don't give a... That's what I'm telling you, like... I don't give a damn if you a cop, bro. I see 4 niggas in the car. You guys look suspicious to me. So somehow, some way, other backup come. The white guy called backup because, you know, obviously the cop probably got a gun on him. The black cop gets shot. Plot twist. That's what the young folks be saying. Plot twist. So before I get into that story, I won't even tell that story no more. Let's get back to Tatum. Plot twist. What if there's a plot twist? I've been looking at this Tatum shot. I've been following it closely. And it appears to me, Brandon Tatum, I almost don't want to put it out there, but I got to put it out there. Because I don't want to fuck up his plan if he is doing what I think. But I do want to, like, when they say that the problem people got with media these days, they say media rush shit and they don't get time to get the facts right. Well, I might be rushing it rather than getting the facts right just because I want to be the first one to break this. Plot twist. What if Brandon Tatum, because he is a hood nigga, that's no doubt about it. But what if he is black still to the core and he is lining these white boys up? Because every time I've looked at the interviews he's had with them, there's always something bad to come out of it. He catching them in so many lies. He's going on Nancy Grace, getting embarrassed, trying to lie for them. He's killing lies that they might have planned on telling. And he's trying to tell it for them. And he's got his foot to the fire. And I keep saying, bro, you're doing these men a disservice. You keep going on the shows talking for them, and you don't know how to talk. And you're not smart. to like elude certain questions or try to work your way around something without answering it or giving a vague answer where you really don't commit to it. You're actually giving set in stone answers where it could be you. If you had been a court of law, that you would have been a committed perjury. You're not doing the normal cop protocol. Most cops, what do cops say? I don't recall at this time. I can tell you at a later time. That just basically means I ain't answering your question, bitch. I'm Dr. Fauci, bitch. I'm plead the fifth. Without actually saying I plead the fifth. I gotta go think of a better lie, then I get back with you. But you're not gonna pin me to this answer. And he's getting pinned down and pinned down and pinned down. And he's got these kids on the show and they're not media trained and they're saying all type of fucking crazy ass answers and movement and body rhythm. And I'm saying to myself, what if Officer Tatum is making the greatest sacrifice? Now I gotta call him Officer Tatum. And he say, you know what? I'm gonna play these kids. Y'all kill, cause I do believe one thing about it. I do believe Brandon Tatum sees himself in Noel, Xavier Noel. I do believe he sees himself in when I seen the video tonight before he went in on Xavier Noel. One thing about it, whether you lie, let's say you telling the truth about something, there's always going to be room for 10% of a lie. And let's say you lying about something, there's always going to be room for 10% of the truth. And I do believe the truth, before he went on his 90% lie, his first 10% was all truth. He was like, I love this kid. I like he didn't, I don't think he came out flat out and said, I wish I was Xavier Noel or I could see myself. But he basically alluded to that, like, we're the same. All white friends, no black guy around. So I do believe that he probably is genuinely hurt behind the scene about Xavier Noel's death. But that kind of person that Tatum is, I might be hurt by it, but bitch, you understood what, it's kind of like a gang. If you join a gang and a motherfucker die on gang activity, can you really cry as much as you would if they wasn't a part of the gang? If they wasn't a part of the gang and they was an innocent bystander, you're going to cry harder. But once you sign up for the gang, you still could cry about the motherfucker, but it's going to be less guilt because you knew what you were signing up for. Same thing with Tatum. I believe in his mind, he feel like Nolan knew what he was signing up for. You taking your chance out with these white guys and all your friends is white and you isolated yourself from black people. You knew what it was. You paid the ultimate sacrifice. And I do believe that's Tatum mind frame. But I also do feel like he relates so much to the kid that a part of him wouldn't mind seeing justice. That's all I got to say about that. So I've said enough. I'm tired. I'm finna go to sleep now.